My name is Sam Ace. Join me on my journey as I create space for conversations with some of Africa's finest individuals, those who are shifting the needle through the work that they do. We shine a spotlight on people who are making a positive impact in our society. This is the new generation of business leaders, philanthropists, social entrepreneurs, influencers, artists, the list goes on. On this show, you will hear their stories, how they gained their success, what challenges they faced, and what lessons they have learned. This is Impact Africa with Sam Ace. Hello everyone and welcome to Impact Africa. My name is Sam Ace and thank you so much for tuning in. Today I have the privilege and I'm so excited to be in conversation with Lesego and Joseph Mpyana, co-founders of Move Africa. Move Africa is a company that identifies products that have the potential of aiding socio-economic development in Africa. But I'm going to let them tell you all about what they're all about. Lee and Joe, welcome to Impact Africa.
Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah,
We're so happy to be here.
You guys look amazing.
You look incredible.
Yeah.
So tell us, who is Lesego and Joseph?
So Lesego and Joseph, first we're children of God. We are parents. We've got two beautiful young babies. And we're business partners and just life partners. We are passionate about impacting people, uplifting people, and just living in God's purpose for us in each season.
That is
Amazing.
Yeah.
And how did you guys meet? Because it's just quite incredible that you guys work together, that you do this sort of impact work together.
Yeah.
How did you guys meet?
Do you want to take this one?
We were both fresh out of high school.
Yeah.
Our first year out of high school, I was playing rugby, and Lee was her first year varsity.
First year varsity, yeah.
And we stayed in the same
apartment complex.
Apartment complex. Yeah. And I remember I arrived first with the rugby, and we had been there for a little while.
Yeah.
And I remember we're having lunch and looking down the window, and here's this car roll in.
Our parents are moving us in.
Yeah. Lee's parents were moving her in, and I see this girl jump out, and I looked out the window and I was like, okay, as soon as the parents leave, I'm gonna go say hi. and then the parents left, and I went down and I went to go say hi.
Yeah.
Knocked on the door, and that was pretty much the first time we met.
Yeah, and we just had this chemistry about us. We were friends for a while before we started dating. But that's how we met.
Yeah.
It sounds like a movie.
It was really cool.
And you guys, obviously, now you work together with Move Africa. So tell me, I do understand that Move Africa is not an NGO. It's a business, and you guys work with corporates in order to assist them in spending or looking for social investments that they can now go back into communities and invest in those communities.
Yeah.
How does this happen? Tell us about these corporates and what you do with them or for them.
Okay, so it's all about sustainability. I think it forms really a core pillar of Move Africa. And so going and partnering with corporates are already doing so much, for communities, but we just want to direct them to do projects that are sustainable. Yeah. So, for example, with Mainstreal Cup, so many corporates have been trying to combat period poverty by doing pad drives, and we're bringing in this innovative product that is sustainable, lasting goal up to 10 years, going into communities and educating the girls about how the cup works, just to have a greater impact.
Yeah.
And so corporates do have a budget to spend, but we just want to leverage it to make sure that it is long lasting.
Yeah, just to elaborate on that, our company is sort of structured around focusing on 4 pillars. And the 4 pillars that we're focused on right now is women empowerment. It is environmental impact, removing barriers to education, as well as providing economic freedom. And so when corporates are using their spend, we try to create products and bring projects, bring in products that are going to serve these 4 pillars. And in doing so, from a corporate perspective, we are then able to improve their ESG standing, which is economic, social governance of a company. As Lee had said, with the menstrual cups, because of the economic impact, because of the environmental impact that pads and tampons can have on our oceans and our environment, bringing in a sustainable product that that doesn't end up in our landfills and in our oceans, that then obviously serves a company's environmental social governance positioning.
Incredible. So it looks like the corporates that come to you actually get more than what they actually bargain for.
Yeah, 100%. It's all about value. We want our main priority is being able to channel these funds and using them to uplift communities, but understanding as well that there is value to be given back to these companies. And that's a strong focus of ours. Creating values for these companies that are investing in corporate social investment.
And do these companies always know when they come to you? Sometimes you can have budget or you can have money to spend, but you don't actually know where it's going to make impact the most. Do they always know what they want to do? Or do you also play a role in terms of advising them by saying, actually, you'll make more impact if you do this? Or do you ever change a company's mind that's coming to you with a certain project or initiative in mind, and you say, hang on, that's not going to make as much impact. Why don't we move this way? How would it work?
It's actually quite interesting how when starting out, we thought every company knows, what they want to do, where they want to spend their money. But more recently, we've discovered that our clients are looking to us to say, hey guys, what are the solutions? How can we better put things out in the communities that are sustainable, that actually uplift people? Because I think what we're trying to move towards is empowering people to be able to participate in the economy, just not just charity, giving people food. How do we uplift them? How do we make sure they stay in school? How do we make sure that they have the confidence to go out into the world and, participate again in the economy? And so more recently, we've actually been structuring CSI initiatives and strategies for companies, saying like, in a year, this is the target. These are the ways we want to impact communities. And so we've actually been now consulting companies and saying, hey guys, this is what we can do that'll be sustainable and have more impact.
Incredible. And you know what I've been observing over the past couple of months with some of the projects that you've been doing is that you are probably teaching these companies that it's not just about throwing money at a problem, but I'm seeing a lot of them on the ground with you. And
So
how do you get them? How do you get them out of the office and into communities?
So that is a non-negotiable for us.
Yes.
If we are going to do a project with a company, we need them there because it's important. It's important, one, for the transparency. We live in a climate where there are people who unfortunately do take opportunity when it comes to funds being allocated to stuff.
Absolutely.
We're big on the transparency. So having the client there with us is important from that perspective, but also important for them to see what exactly they're doing. The impact that they have on the individual. And that sort of it takes it away from okay, I've got this budget that I need to spend, and it moves it towards, I actually have a heart to do something for a person, and when you see the need and you see how your contribution meets the need and changes the individual's lives, it becomes a whole new story, and becomes a whole new heart from our client's point of view.
That is absolutely incredible. You guys are obviously passionate about young people, especially women, which is incredible to see. Why is this? I mean, a lot of the products that you have identified, that you are approaching these corporates with, the beneficiaries of them are women and young women. Why is this? Why is this your passion?
I think we understand that when you uplift a woman, genuinely a community benefits. you know, and also historically, women have been marginalized, women have been oppressed, and always last in line, you know. And so for us, the heart really is to go to the people who need it the most and who have the most potential to actually change narratives around them. And we understand that that's women, you know, it's young girls in communities who've been told that they don't belong, that they cannot. And we're going and changing that narrative, saying, no, you can, and we're going to support you, you know. Honestly, when you impact a girl's life, the ripple effect it's incredible.
Yeah, and I just think, just to add on to that, is just in the past, it's been from a corporate social responsibility point of view, it's so easy for the projects to be focused on issues that affect everyone, or issues that or rather issues that affect everyone, and issues that lean more towards guys, because from a corporate point of view, the decision makers are men. So if you don't understand, you know, the intricacies of the challenges that females deal with, it's hard. And you know what, it's not that it's their fault. It's just, if you don't understand it, you're not going to, you know, focus on it, you know. So and again, you look at period poverty, and menstruation as a conversation is not something that females rather speak about. You know, it's not something that is discussed, something that is shameful almost for people to speak about. So we're now saying, listen here, one, we're taking away that shame from that conversation, you know, so that it can be a conversation, you know, it's something that you can be proud of as a woman, right? And in turn, we're bringing men into that conversation and saying, hey, look here, this is something that we need to speak about, because it's not just something that happens to women, it's something that restricts women from participating, you know, in different spheres of life.
Absolutely. You know, with that participation and just looking at some of the stories that come up, I would have been one of those girls benefiting from this initiative years ago, because I can clearly remember in high school missing a couple of days because of my menstrual cycle. So I think that the work that you are doing is so empowering for a young woman, that what is happening to me naturally does not isolate me and does not prevent me from participating in everything that men and women should be participating in. What I love about you guys is your hands-on approach. I mean, for two directors of this company, you guys are pretty hands-on. You at the forefront of the challenges. You're in the community. What is so important about proximity for you guys? Why is proximity important?
I think it's being able to understand, like you say, like when you think about yourself a couple of years ago, like you were that girl. You know, for me, and how we actually came to start Move Africa is I worked for an NGO called Teach South Africa, and they place varsity graduates in underprivileged schools to then bring about the change they want to see. And that's where I first became aware of period poverty. So it's in being in close proximity to the girls experiencing period poverty that I came to become aware of it. And I think it's just important that we give to others what we would want for ourselves. You know, like I'm an advocate of the Mainstreal Cup. I fell in love with the product, and that's why I said, oh my goodness, we need it for those girls that I taught, you know, all those years ago. But also to make sure that, because we love what we do, we're passionate about it. And I think it's important to be in close proximity, so we're sure that the message aligns, you know, that we deliver the same quality of information everywhere we go, you know, like whether I'm standing in a school or it's one of our trainers representing our company, that they're giving the girls the very best of what we have to offer.
And I think, you know, just looking back at our journey and where it actually started, when we first moved to Bellito, Lee was working for an NGO called
Work for a Living.
And she had designed this program where she would teach
basic
people
English,
basic business English, you know, and that's actually where Move Africa started, in a sense that we saw a need, or, you know, something that people struggled with, and that was her way of sort of adding on to what was already happening at Work for a Living. And on my side, I come from a rugby background, and, you know, after playing and moving to Bellito, as a household, because what she was doing, she was working for an NGO and she wasn't getting paid for it. Our sole income was from me coaching rugby, you know, and so for me, you know, I thought to myself, you know, if I'm able to put food on the table for me and my wife, surely someone else is able to do that through this profession. So I started saying, okay, no, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go out into you know, our communities, and I'm going to, you know, teach school leavers how to coach rugby, and then try and get them jobs, you know, because if I'm able to sustain myself through that, surely someone else deserves the opportunity to be able to do that. So that's actually how Move Africa started.
Yeah, because we were in those
because we were, you know, we recognized where we were, and it directly translated into what we would like, or the opportunity we would like to give someone else, you know, and that's where the proximity, you know, sort of came from. So with anything that we do, it's important that we're there, that we understand it, that we do something that we have experienced or are in close proximity with people that have experienced it.
I think it's also like seeing ourselves in those people. You know, like when I look at a young girl, like she could be me. You know, like there's that
or your daughter,
relatability. Or my daughter, or my mom. My mom experienced great poverty. So it's seeing ourselves reflected in the people that we work with, that we're doing it for, and wanting to give them the very best and not scraps.
And this is the thing about close proximity when you in impact work, is that you don't look at a community as a project. Yes, you are doing a project that will benefit them, but you don't look at a human being as a project, that you connect with the human in a person. You connect with them, you see them as a person. And I think you guys do that so beautifully. Which leads me to 2019, I think, or maybe 2020. You guys, Move Africa, hit social media with one of the best social media campaigns that I've ever seen, the Red Movement. Tell me about the Red Movement. How did it all begin, and what was it all about? And can we expect to see more Red Movement in 2022?
Definitely.
So the Red Movement, so we started Move Africa, and on social media, women who were using the cup from all over the world were coming into our direct messages saying, we love what you guys are doing. We love this idea. Can we be part of it? And so we'd say, you know, like, typically we work with corporates, and so that's not the structure. But we started thinking about what would it look like to say yes to the everyday woman who does want to make a difference. No, they don't have the budget of a corporate, but what would it look like for her to be able to participate in what we're doing? And so that's how the Red Movement was born. We sat and said, okay, how do we invite people in on the story of Move Africa? And so we decided, okay, we're going to run this campaign. It's going to be for Women's Month. We're calling it the Red Movement, and we're inviting everyone in on the story. And so we approached a couple of women in our community and said, hey, this is what we're doing. Would you like to be part of it and help us to amplify, you know, the voice of the movement, which is really about two things. One, raising awareness of period poverty, because again, it is something that is not spoken about. Not many people actually know about, you know, these challenges that girls face. But second, it's about we can do something about it together. And so we launched the campaign, and the call was simple. Help us to spread the word. You can pledge a cup for 100 Rand and we'll match the cup. Then in August for Women's Month, we went across the country distributing all the cups that were raised for young girls. And that's how the Red Movement started, and it's been incredible. Completely blew us away, the impact that we were able to have. And this year we're going bigger. It's going to be better. We're incredibly expectant and excited for it.
Incredible. And you know what I also do like is that the product, and this goes back to proximity again, and looking at the communities and the girls that you work with as humans, as you connecting with the person, because the product that you are taking to corporate, to take into these communities, is really good quality. And the problem sometimes that we see with social impact work and NGOs and corporates when they are wanting to invest into communities, because that close proximity is not there. You're sort of
Yeah.
like removed from the real challenges. So then you're
Yeah.
removed from seeing the real need of a person or seeing a person
Yeah.
for who they are. And so the products and the response is really bad quality.
Yeah.
Like for example, with responding to menstrual period poverty, we've seen some really shocking and disappointing products being given to communities.
Yeah.
A poor quality sanitary towels
Yeah.
and so forth. But you guys have come up with this really good product that not only does it speak to the period poverty, but also speaks to environmental challenges, aiding that. The quality is something that you and I would use. Hence, I think you had all these people saying, we want to come on board. And a lot of these people are now using the product.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so tell me about the cup and tell me about the other Move products that you guys are taking to corporates.
So just going back to the product, I think when we started, we said it was important that whatever we put out there, that especially from a with the cup specifically, is that something that Lee would use. So we actually sat with a couple of products, and Lee tried them out. And she fell in love with this particular one, and we said, okay, that's what we're going to put out, because if that is good enough for you, then that is what we're going to give.
Amazing.
We're going to give other girls. So that's something that we're so proud of, and that's a direction, just also in identifying other products. It was something that we had to go down that route. Is this something that
I believe in?
that we believe in, that we would use, that would be beneficial to us? Would this be something that would be beneficial to, the 12-year-old Joseph and Lesego? Yes. Would this be something that we would be happy to have in our hands? Yes. So this is something that would, we're going to put out there.
Yeah, and I'll speak a bit about the cup, and you can maybe touch on the
other
alarm.
products,
But the menstrual cup, it's basically a silicone product. It's made of FDA-approved medical grade. So the silicone is medical grade. It's safe, hygienic. The menstrual cup is actually the safest menstrual product on the market today. And in Europe and US, like a lot of women, like 80% of women have moved over to the cup because of the effects it has on the environment that's so positive. But it's basically inserted. So it works very similarly to a tampon, but instead of absorbing the blood, it simply collects it. And it's got numerous benefits. It lasts for up to 10 years. It can be worn for up to 12 hours. So for girls in sport, particularly who need to, keep moving, it's very beneficial and convenient. Just like so many benefits to that product. And we just are passionate about it. And then the second product that we have.
Yeah, so so with every product we've got everything starts with why, right? So we see an issue, a challenge, and we say, okay, how can we best serve that challenge? So we had, I don't want to say a spike because it's always been there, but we've had a spike of gender-based violence in the media. So we've been more aware of it because it's been informed on. And we said, okay, how can we contribute to the story? And how can we help girls in this environment? And so we then identified what is called a handheld alarm. And basically what it is, it's a small sort of alarm device that emits a sound of 120 decibels that girls can carry around with them. And when they are in trouble, they can, press it and the siren goes off, which then, attracts attention and is supposed to be used to startle, your attacker as well. And so that's actually something, it's a project that we're working on to sort of modify it and make it a little bit more useful. So we're excited about what's going to come of that. And then we've got a couple of other stuff that we're looking to bring in, just stuff that are going to serve in education and
very
other,
exciting.
we're very, very excited about those, and just other stuff that are going to serve within water and access to water and that type of thing.
Incredible. And you guys, obviously with these products, you do a lot of work in terms of educating communities about how to use these products. For example, the alarm, that if ever it goes off, that people in the community are aware of the sound, they know what it means. So that's incredible that you don't only provide these products, but you
Yes.
actually go out,
Yeah.
you invest in the training and in the education part
Yeah.
in terms of communities knowing how
Yeah.
to use these products.
And I think what's been incredible as well, because we're very collaborative. And so with the alarm specifically, we work with the local police in that area to help us in, you know, making community members aware. So when your child gets home with this thing, you know, parents know what it is, exactly the unique sound it makes. So the whole community is aware. And that's important, that we actually collaborate, make sure people know how to use it properly, but to also make it as effective as possible in a particular setting.
Yeah, and just from the education point of view, that was important. You know, I worked, you know, before Move Africa, I worked in corporate social responsibility, and the theme as you get together a bunch of stuff and you go somewhere, you drop them off and you take pictures and you get in your car and you leave.
Absolutely,
And and I always saw a massive problem with that because one, there's no connection between the person who is dropping it off and the person who is receiving it, and also you don't understand or you don't see. There's no way of you getting a response in terms of, you know, is that actually helpful to that person?
Yeah.
So with the cup specifically, we realized that, okay, this is a new product, not a new product to the world, but a new product to the environments that we're taking it into. And so it's important that we are able to teach girls how to use it. So at first it was a 15-minute conversation on, this is the cup, you know, this is how it works, you know, this is how you keep it clean, and this is how you insert it, you know, you remove it. And then we always have a question and answer session at the end. And the questions we got were like, made us realize that, okay, this can't be just a conversation about, you know, the cup. It has to be, you know, bigger than that. So it became about the anatomy, you know, of a woman, you know, how your menstrual cycle, you know,
period positivity.
Period positivity, you know, how to prevent unwanted pregnancies. So now it's an hour-long conversation.
And we go back and forth
and
with the
we
girls.
go, we go back and forth. It's really cool. So we've got a bunch of trainers now that we host regular sessions with, and, you know, keeping them informed, you know, and we're always changing our materials, looking at, you know, what didn't we know, you know, last month that we know now, you know, and we bring it into that, you know. And then importantly is we have a 6 and 12 months
like
catch up.
check-in,
So we check in with the school to find out, you know, are the girls using it? Is the information that is being missed? You know, we also provide the girls and the schools themselves with direct links to contact us. You know, if they've got questions, you know, okay, you gave this thing to me 6 months ago. I haven't used it, but now I want to use it. I've forgotten what you taught me. You know, can we go through that again? And that environment is available to these girls.
Incredible. And this is all about being involved, being engaged, and being present in those spaces. And again, not just dishing out stuff to challenges and to problems. You guys, from where I'm sitting, work pretty well as a couple, which is something that many desire, to work together as a couple, but sometimes, you know, it's just not possible. Is this true? Do you guys work together? How do you do it?
Well,
you just seem to, this conversation is flowing.
Well, look, I'll tell you this.
Make it look easy.
You know, it certainly wasn't easy in the beginning because, you know, we're both very, we've got strong ideas and strong opinions. I think we respect each other, so we're able to navigate those spaces. But also we get really good advice from the people that have gone ahead of us, and so now it's become much easier. It's become much smoother because we've also identified our strengths within Move Africa. So, you know, we're able to give each other, you know, or give each other opportunities to thrive in what we each are strong at, you know. So,
but it was quite the journey getting.
It was quite the journey getting there.
It looks like you want to add a little bit.
So now, you know, now it's really, I won't lie, now it's easy. Now it's really fun. You know, we don't butt heads at all now because, you know, she's got her strengths. I trust her there. I've got my strengths. She trusts me there. And whenever we're like, okay, we hit a stumbling block there, we're able we respect each other to be like, okay, listen here, I can help you with that, and you can help me with this. So
So how do you navigate and balance running this successful company with big corporates, and family life
Sure.
and children? How do you navigate? How do you balance?
I must say it's a constant learning and unlearning journey, you know. Like we try to limit, you know, doing business at home. Like when we've got weekends, we've placed a big, like we place such value on our weekends and just block that off as time for our kids exclusively, to, you know, play around with them, whatever they want to do, that's what we're doing. But also in the evenings, like to actually intentionally, and I think that's the key, to be intentional about switching off and being mindful that we're at home now and we're leaving the office at the office. But it's definitely like a journey. I mean, it's never, every day is different, but we're still navigating that, you know?
You learn. And I think, you know, importantly is because we don't come from a background where, you know, we saw this happen in our houses, you know, where our parents were leading these, you know, innovative and big business environments. You know, we don't come from that. So it's important for us to be able to learn it from somewhere. You know, so, and we've been blessed to be around really good voices. And so we take time to check in on that. You know, when we've got a challenge, you know, we pray about it, you know, and then through praying about it, God leads us to the individual who will then help us, you know, with the advice and information and the guidance, you know, so that's been, I think, a very helpful.
And also community. Like I think being around a community of like-minded people, you know, parents who run businesses and are journeying, you know, like with us in the season, and hearing from them, how are you guys doing it? You know, like, and adapting things here and there that apply to us. I think that's also helpful.
And it's really important for the work that you do. You guys need to be in a good frame of mind a lot of the time to be able to do what you do. How do you guys, in the current socioeconomic challenges that South Africa and the world sees itself, crime, crime and abuse against women and children, how do you stay motivated and hopeful in a world that is, in a world that a lot of the time when we look at it, there's so much negative that's going around, and for the work that you guys are doing, you're bringing hope into communities. How do you stay positive? How do you stay inspired to come up with new ideas to take to corporates? How do you do that?
You know, I think the important thing is we recognize that we're here today because someone gave us a chance, you know, because someone chose to step in for us. So, you know, so it's not about, you know, if you're going to look at it as, you know, you've got all these people in the world who are suffering, and how do we help all of them at once? We're not going to be, you know, it will deflate us, you know, but that's our goal. But we understand that to reach that goal, it has to be about the one person, you know, the one person who can one day, it's a legacy. Legacy is how we're going to change our world, because there's another Joey and Lee who are going to do much bigger and much more than what we're doing because we concentrated on the one person. You know?
And also remembering that we are the lights. I think like it can get so depressing to like take in all the negativity that's happening in the world, but God has called us for something greater. He's called us to be a reflection of Him on this earth. And so for me, like that's what I hold on to, is that He's called us to be hopeful. He's called us to more than what we can see physically, you know. So like an incredible thing that we've recently learned in church is like, what do you see when you close your eyes and open your heart? And that, I think, for me has really like set me free in terms of that. Like when I look around in the world, I get scared and I get you know, like anxious. But when I close my eyes and see what God says to me in my heart and He's called me to be, I then have hope to wake up the next day and say, okay, you know, God's placed something in us. We've got breath in our lungs. Let's go. And by impacting the one, and even like one of our things that we say at Move Africa is one girl at a time. The one. If I can affect the one, and I can, if I can see, I can reach her, and then tomorrow another one, and eventually that legacy comes and we can actually impact more people than we ever imagined. But it's always about starting, you know, go where God has called you, and He'll reveal everything else.
Wonderful. And as we sit here, there is someone somewhere sitting, thinking, dreaming about wanting to make a change, wanting to impact the community around them. But when you look at, as you've just said now, there's so much that's happening. When you think about it, you just get crippled, get overwhelmed by the magnitude of the challenges and the ills in our community. But there's that one person who just wants to do something, move from where they are, do something, impact. What would you say to that person to encourage them, to inspire them, to just what you've just said now, Lee? What would you say to that one person who just has that inkling to just want to move and do something and impact people's lives, but they're scared, they're overwhelmed, it's too big, it's too much of a problem?
I read like this past week somewhere that there was a donkey and a boy in a forest, and the boy said, like, I don't see a way out. And so the donkey asked him, do you see the next step? And he said yes. And he's like, okay, you take the next step. And for me, like, I think in my season of becoming, which I think I'm in now, the next step, the small step, what wall has God placed in front of you? You build that wall, you know, and that's all you can do. Do you see a next step? Sometimes it's as easy as picking up a phone and messaging that person that you know can unlock another door. Sometimes it's waking up, showing up for yourself and exercising, you know, like, so it looks different, but what is the next step? And you take that step. We have to move. We actually have to get out there and put our name down, you know, because sometimes we always disqualify ourselves. We don't think we're good enough. We don't have the right skill set. We're not qualified for it. But if you see the next step, take the next step. That is it. That is it. Like, and for me, there's nothing more.
If God has called you to something, He's called you to it. You know, like, it doesn't matter the resources, the background, the whatever. If you in your heart, you know, feel compelled to do something because God has called you to it, you go. And if God has called you to it, this is something that I've learned. Like, I remember just before we got married, I couldn't afford to buy an engagement ring. And I was at church, and you know, one of our mentors now came up to me, and he said, he wants to pray with me. So I was like, okay, old man, you know, you can pray. And he prayed marriage over my life, and I was like, this man is insane.
Where's the money
like,
gonna
what
come from?
what are you even talking about?
No.
Exactly, you know. So after he prayed, I was like, okay, maybe this guy has a plan to maybe he's got a plan to give me a ring so that I can propose. And he said, God put this on my heart. And then there he was gone. So I'm like, okay, now I'm sitting with this, you know. And I remember that moment saying, okay, Lord, if this is something that you want me to do, you know, you unlock how I'm going to do it. That's not on me. That is on you. You know, so I've learned to put things on God. You know, so in the same way, if you feel called to something, if God has called you to something, forget about the resources, forget about the how. You know, that's His business. Say, Lord, if you want me to do it, I'm stepping in. You know, I'm stepping in as, you know, naked as I am without it all. And you're going to dress me. You're going to make me the part. You know? And I think that's pretty much how you go for it.
And that's not to say that it's not going to come without its challenges or feeling fearful or anxious, but it's about actually moving.
Stepping in.
Step in.
Wow. This has been so incredible, guys.
I've
just
loved this.
so excited for Move Africa and what God has in store for you for the future, for your projects, for the communities that you're going to impact, for the corporates who are going to be journeying with you in the next chapter. So thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you so much, Sam.
Well, there you have it. You just got to move. It's been such an incredible time here with Move Africa, Lesego and Joseph Mpyana. And thank you so much for tuning in. I will catch you again next week when we again speak to somebody else who's impacting the world around them. Have a good week.